Hello and welcome to Chapter 9, Part 3 of our Serendipity Booksellers C++ software development project. We're still in Chapter 9. We're going to finish it today. We are going to finish the last report in our Booksellers application. And even though the whole chapter is about pointers, we didn't actually do any pointers yet, but we will in this exercise, in this part. So let's get to it. All right, in our last part, we did the reports for our retail price, wholesale, and the listing of all the books in the inventory. And in this part, we are going to do the last three, which are the quantity, the cost, basically the wholesale cost report, and age, which is basically the report of all the books sorted by the date when they were added to the inventory. So let's start with the quantity. And quantity, we are going to be sorting by the highest quantity to the lowest quantity. Whatever the title we have the most will be on the top, and whatever title in our inventory that we have the least will be on the bottom of our report. And for that, it's good to use pointers because we have to sort the arrays. We're not going to be changing the arrays at all, and not permanently. The values will stay the same. The order of the elements will stay the same. So we need basically a temporary, kind of not an array, but we need a temporary solution to sort the arrays and display them. And for that, we just need the pointers to kind of capture the location of each of the value in the array rather than the actual value, because we're not going to be changing the value. We just need the location so we can sort it temporarily, display it, and then the array is still untouched. It remains the same. So the first one is going to be an integer ID of the size. That's a regular array, and that's the array to track original subscripts, because we need to sort the arrays, so we need the actual subscripts within each array. The next one is going to be an integer, and there you go, it's a pointer, and it's an ID pointer of the size. And this one is going to be pointer tracking, pointer to tracking array. And similarly, we'll do the integer, I forgot a semicolon. So another pointer, this time to the quantity pointer, so I'll call quantity pointer. Again, we're using size because there's no more than 20 books, so and it's been defined by the constant size. And this one is the array of pointers to our quantity on hand, because remember, this is the report for the quantity, so that's what we are going to be displaying. So we need a way to store those pointers to the original subscripts. All right, so and again, I forgot a semicolon. So the next thing, we need a for loop. So let me just do that, and I will do this classic I less than size and I plus plus. And in this loop, we are going to assign the values to our new arrays here. So our ID of the index I will equal just I. We are capturing the subscripts. So I is basically the subscript. ID pointer of I equals whatever it is in our ID array. The location of the ID of each of the elements in the ID array, and the same for a quantity pointer of I, and that one will equal the we are pointing to the quantity on hand array, so that's what it is, quantity on hand. Quantity on hand of I. Just like the IDs, it points to an array and passes the information to our quantity pointer I. So basically it kind of mimics, but it passes the locations of the values. All right, so next thing, since we need to sort these for the report, we need more variables. Start scan. It's going to be an integer. We are going to be using selection sort, so that's why I'm using these variables. And now again we got a pointer of integer, which is going to be a temporary ID. That's going to be the one that we will be swapping. If you find a quantity, we are sorting by the highest, from highest to the lowest. So if the, let's say, quantity for subscript 0 is less than the one for subscript 1, then we have to swap them, and that's what the temporary ID is. And another one would be the max value. Again, we are using the selection sort, so that's why we need all these variables. So now let's do the sort. So selection sort to do quantity on hand in descending order. All right, so it's basically a nested loop. So first one, and this is the classic selection sort. So it just start with this start scan variable, obviously as a beginning of the outer loop. Start scan is less than size, but minus 1, because we are going to be swapping the first and second element, so we cannot go over the bounds of the array. And start scan plus plus. All right, and oh, I forgot. I call it star instead of start. That's what I meant. Okay. Okay, so let's assign values to our variables. So max index will be the start scan, because we assume the first one is the maximal one. Again, this is selection sort, you have to keep that in mind. So that's the start scan. Our maximum value will be the quantity pointer to our start scan element, or an index. And we need the temporary ID, which would be the pointer for the start scan. And now we can do the inner loop and actually do the compare the values and do the sorting. All right, so the inner loop, another for loop, and this one's just gonna be an index integer, and it's gonna be the start scan, but plus 1, because we are going to the next record that we are comparing to the previous one. So index is less than size, because before it was size minus 1, because we would go to all the way to the end and try to compare it to the record that is after that, and there is no record after the last one, so that's why this one has minus 1, but the inner one goes all the way to the end of the inventory list of the array. And of course index plus plus. So now let's compare the values and see which one's bigger, and if it's the second one, then we will swap them. So what we are comparing is the pointer, so it's going to be the quantity pointer index. If that one is greater than what we currently have in our max value, then we can swap them. So we have our max value, and we'll assign it the quantity pointer of index. Next we have the temporary ID, which is the subscript that we are holding, and now we can assign it the value of the ID pointer, so of the index, and of course we have the max index that now equals our index because we are moving to the next iteration of the loop. So that's that, and at the end, so it's our if statement, and after our for loop, but still within our outer loop, but after our inner loop, already sorted out the values. We can assign the values to the pointers again. So our pointer of the max index will now be the quantity pointer, and that's going to be our new start scan. It's going to be the start scan index. So ID of pointer with the max index now equals the ID pointer of the start scan. All right, so I have too many brackets there. So that's those two, and the quantity pointer of the start scan now equals the next value and ID pointer of the, before we had the max index, but now we have the start scan. Start scan equals stamp ID. Okay, so quantity pointer cannot assign value. Okay, I missed something, I guess. That should be all right, actually. I still have an error here. Oh, I forgot the, the closing bracket there. Oh, never mind. That much for the error. I was wondering what was wrong. Anyway, so we have swap all the indexes, all the values, and now we are ready to display them. Right? We have everything prepared. So I'll go back to my previous function, and I'm gonna copy paste the. Oh, not that one. I'm gonna copy paste the starting from the date to the header. And I'm gonna paste it right after the for loops, meaning after both the outer loop. You can see the outer loop ends here, and after that I'm gonna paste it where the user enters date. We'll display the date. We'll display the header for the report. Except this one won't be called retail. This one will be called a quantity. Sorry, quantity, like that. And it displays the date, and then what we are going to be displaying is the title, the ISBN, and the quantity. We don't display the retail. This is just for the wholesale. For the quantity. So we don't need the retail column there. Just the ISBN, title, and quantity. And after that, we can go to our for loop and start displaying each of the records that we collected, and well, not really collected, all the records that are already sorted. So let's do J this time instead of I, and it's gonna be J is less than size, J plus plus, and just like before, if you remember from my previous video, we make sure that we don't print the empty records. We check the ISBN. And we'll do the same thing now, except this time we're not checking the ISBN. We are checking the ISBN array, but we are checking it where our current pointer is as an index. So the ID pointer of the index j is the actual index that we are checking. If it's empty, or if, then we won't print it, and if it's not empty, then we will display the record. All right, so again, not printing empty records. And let's do the cout and let's start displaying the values. So let's do a new line, maybe a tab, and let's do it left, set width to 26. That's what we used to do before. And book title will be displayed there. And again, the display is the, I'm gonna use this, it's gonna copy paste it. That's gonna be the index of the value that we are displaying, or the element that we are displaying. All right, so that's that. Next, we will display the ISBN. So again, it's gonna be left, set width, but this one is 14 for ISBN, and it's gonna be ISBN. I'm gonna paste it and close it, and that's our element that we are displaying. And finally, on the right, instead with 6, we are going to display the quantity. And this time, we already have the pointer for that, for the quantity that we are displaying. We are not displaying from the quantity array, because this one is the sorted one. That's what we are displaying, not from our original quantity array, or the on-hand array. Okay, so that's that. Actually, let's make a new line after that. Okay, so that's our for loop, and that's our report. And at the end, I'm gonna copy from the previous function. I'm gonna copy the end of report, which is gonna be. I'll just copy this one. Where is it? After the for loop, we'll do the end. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no total actually. That's just remember, I'm just copy pasting, so I'm deleting what I don't need. I'm keeping the line, and it says end of quantity report. And just like we did before, we'll display it, press enter to continue, and ignore and get. All right, so that's the quantity. Next, it's the cost. All right, so let's do the cost. I'm gonna copy paste a lot from the quantity report, because again, we are gonna be sorting everything. So I'm gonna copy paste the top part and paste it here. But since we are doing cost, in other words, dealing with money, we need a double. Instead of the quantity pointer, we need the, I'll call it whole pointer, which is for the wholesale. So wholesale, because we are doing a cost, and cost is what we are buying products from the suppliers, which is the wholesale cost, not the retail. Except this one is going to be whole pointer. So when I go into our loop over here, when I'm assigning the values, the first two are correct, but the second one is going to be the whole pointer, and it will equal to our, or it will point to the whole sale array. All right. The start, scan, index, and temp index stay the same, but we are capturing the value, which is going to be in double, so we need to make this one double instead of an integer as it was before. Now I'm going to copy paste the selection sort loop and paste it right under, and the thing starts pretty much the same thing, except obviously when it says quantity pointer, it's now whole pointer. And the for loop starts the same. That's correct. We're assigning the value. And over here we have the start scan index. That's correct. Of course, this one's going to be the whole pointer in the max value and a whole pointer index. And over here again, we'll just do whole pointer. And again, not quantity, but a whole pointer. So technically, we could maybe use a function and just assigning these values there. But I guess this is working fine. So we have that. We have our sorted arrays. And now let's display the rest of it. So copy paste the rest. We ask for the date. We enter the date. This one is the cost report. And we are displaying the quantity. But after the quantity, we are displaying title, ISBN, we'll display the quantity, but we also obviously need to display the cost, which is the wholesale. Alright, so we'll tab it and wholesale. That should be okay. And we'll go to our loop, and that's pretty much stays the same, except obviously we have the book title. That's correct. We'll keep the ISBN. That's correct, but we are now displaying, remember, numbers, so let's do a little formatting for that. We are displaying money, so let's do in a double, so fixed, show, point, format it to the right, and set precision to 2. And the last thing that we will display after so we have title, we have ISBN, we have the quantity. Actually, we are not sorting the quantity. So we can display the value from the actual array, quantity on hand, and the last thing is the wholesale itself. So set width. Let's make it 6 for the number, and this is money. So we will add a $sign after we tab it, and we will add the pointer to a whole pointer of the index J, and we will do another new line after that. Actually, the quantity on hand now won't have a new line because it's not the last thing. Before in a previous report, that was the last thing displayed, but in this case, in this report, it's the wholesale cost that is the last thing displayed. Okay. So that's that, and we have the end of cost report, and ask the user to press enter. And finally, do the age, and once again, the age is gonna be actually a little different. Well, not too much. I'm still gonna copy paste most of it. So we have the ID, we have the pointer size, and the third thing is it's gonna be a string pointer to our date value. Alright, so we'll call it the date pointer to the date added array, because we are sorting by the date when the book was added to our inventory. So over here, when I go, I'll do date pointer, and I'll point to our date added array. Okay, so again, let's sort them. Let's sort the date edit array. So I'm gonna copy paste that. So we have our start scan, we have max index, and this is gonna be our string of the max value because we are sorting by date, which is in a string format. So this is gonna be our start scan. Okay, max index is start scan. Max value is the date pointer. Oh, I forgot E. So date pointer. Temp ID scan. Okay, so that's correct. And in our inner loop, we check if the ISBN is empty inside our for loop, but obviously this is gonna be the date pointer because that's what we are working with. Again, this is the date array we are working with. So date pointer, but that's the one we are sorting, not just working with. So that's where all the pointers go, or lead to our date array, or date edit array, I should say. So date pointer, same here. ID is correct, and over here is going to be date pointer. It's the new max value. And finally, let's display the whole thing on the screen, like that. So we have our date, we enter our date, this is going to be the date edit report, and in our header we will have ISBN quantity and not a wholesale, we will have the date edit. Alright, so we have that. We loop through our records. That is correct. So we display the book title, we display the ISBN, we display the quantity on hand, and we can display the date edit over here. Except this time, I think I may have actually make a mistake there. This is another pointer. The pointer is the index. So I think I messed up the one before, because this one is gonna be the ID pointer of the J index. I'm gonna copy paste this thing because this is I copied it from our previous report, which was the cost report, and I'm pretty sure whole pointer. Actually, no, this one's correct because we are pointing to our array here, and the index stays the same. Okay, so let me see what else is needed over here. So that one's correct. So we'll just work on the age report. So we have the date edit, and this is the end of age report. Actually, I could just call it this one too, age, because the function is called age. All right, so let's give it a try. Let's run this thing. Let's build it and see if we can even build it. And it's building. All right. So first, let's go to inventory database and add a book. Actually, let's add 3 books. So the first one will title 1, ISBN 1, author 1, publisher 1. And this one, let's add it today's date, which is going to be 29, 2016. And let's add, I don't know, 5, doesn't matter. Wholesale price, let's say $10, and retail price, 15. Let's add another one. Title, let me just move it up so you can see it. Title 2, ISBN 2, author 2, publisher 2. And let's do this one 28, 2016, in other words, day before. And quantity, I don't know, 10, price 20, and retail price 25. And one more book, it's going to be title 3, ISBN 3, author 3, publisher 3, and 527, 2016 was added, and let's say we have, I don't know, 50 quantity, and wholesale price is, I don't know, 40, and 45 is the retail. So let's go to our inventory database module and test those. Oh, not inventory database module, sorry. The report module, and test the first the quantity, which is number 4. So today's date is 529, and here's our report. We are sorting by the quantity, so 50, 10, and 5, and it's ISBN title 3, 2, and 1, so it sorted it correctly, including the corresponding values. As you can see, it still corresponds to the correct book. ISBN corresponds to the title, and that corresponds to the quantity. So that's correct. Next one is the cost, which is 5, today's date, and we have it by cost, 40, 20, and 10. And again, you can see that the values correspond to the correct book, title 3, ISBN 3, and so forth. So let's test the last one, which is by age, today's date, and here you go, 529, 528, 527. So it goes from the newest to the oldest. And again, the numbers correspond, the values correspond to the correct record. So I think we have it working, the reports, and yep, this concludes the chapter 9, which was quite long, but hopefully it was interesting and beneficial for you. And I will see you in the next video for chapter 10. Take care.